Hunting around the world, from Alaska to Australia, from the Americas to Africa, Asia, and Europe. Sportsman on Film presents Pachmayr's Shotgun Hunting School.
Hi, I'm Ken Robertson, your instructor for the Pachmayr Shotgun Hunting School. The Pachmayr School consists of 2.5 days of instruction at Coto de Casa in Orange County, California, the site of the modern pentathlon at the 1984 Olympics. Each of our schools consists of myself as head instructor, 3 assistant instructors, and 2 personnel from Pachmayr, plus several other personnel here that help out in teaching 15 students. Let me emphasize, this school is designed to teach shotgun hunting techniques. It is a field-oriented course. It is not oriented towards trap or skeet. Now let us join one of our regular classes in session and follow them from start to finish.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Pachmayr Company, I'd like to welcome you to our Pachmayr Hunting School. I don't know how much you know about our company beside the fact that we are the biggest manufacturer of grips and rubber recoil pads in the world. And we feel that this is absolutely the finest school that you'll ever be able to attend anywhere in the world. The facilities that we have here and the types of targets we shoot are not to be matched anywhere. We'll be shooting a driven grouse, but just like you would shoot in Scotland, we will be shooting a duck blind situation where you will feel like you are actually in a duck blind waiting for the ducks to come in. We have, which I think is unique in this country, a European ZZ bird target, and this is used to simulate a live bird coming out of the ground, just like we use in a pheasant or an upland game situation. We're very fortunate to have Ken Robertson as our head instructor. Ken is not only a noted shooter, having been the winner of the Grand Prix of Europe in trap and skeet shooting. He is also a California state champion and a junior champion. The important thing, though, is there's a lot of people who are competitive shooters, a lot of people who can do very, very well shooting, but they cannot instruct other people to do what they do. Ken, I think, is probably the finest instructor in the world at getting people to shoot correctly and to impart his knowledge to the shooters. What I'd like to do now is just have Ken come on and introduce you to our instructors, our assistant instructors, and everybody that will be helping you here at the Pachmayr School.
Our job as instructors is not to teach you how to hit targets. Our job as instructors is to teach you how to instruct yourself. When you learn to instruct yourself and know what you are doing wrong in the field, you are now on your way to be able to correct it and improve your shooting. You've all sat with the guy in the duck blind that has the flock of ducks comes over and he shoots 3 shots, and the next thing he turns to you and says, I don't know how I didn't get any. All right? The idea is for you to understand what you are doing wrong or what you are doing right, so that you're able to continue it on and make corrections as you go along. Okay? I'd like to introduce our instructors to you, the assistant instructors that will be working with you throughout the weekend. Dave Parrish will be working on the crazy quail, the pattern board, and also on the skeet fields with us. Dave and I have been hunting together for over 30-some years. Okay, the next instructor I'd like to introduce is my wife, Jeannie Robertson. Jeannie will be working with you on the skeet fields, also on the driven grouse. In 1981, she won the Western Zone Handicap Championship, which is the 11 Western Zones all get together and shoot. It was on a 100-bird target race, of which she beat about 3 of the top men in the nation for a 97 out of 100 championship without a shoot-off. Next instructor that we have is my dad, Gene Robertson. Gene Robertson has had many, many titles behind him. He holds about 15 state titles. In 1980, he was the high average trap shooter in the state of California over Dan Benilius and many other top shooters in the area, with about a 99-13 average on 3,000 targets. He has been shooting pheasants in field trials for over 40-some years. He is known for his field trial shooting, and this is where his expertise comes in. He'll be working on the driven grouse and many of the different areas with you in the relationship to field shooting. Now, what we're going to go over today in this segment of the course is the basic fundamentals. We will be going through every student and checking your eyes in relationship to understanding which eye is the master eye and which eye is pulling up the power. There are some shooters that are shooting and do not know which eye is the master eye and has a tendency to crossfire. That means that you are looking at everything properly. It looks like it should be hitting the target, and it is shooting 3, 4, 5 feet to one side or the other. Okay, what I'd like everybody to do is just sit right where you are and point right at my nose with whatever hand you are. If you're right-handed, you're going to use your right hand. If you're left-handed, you use your left hand. Keep both eyes open and just point right at my nose. We've got right, 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 left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, right, right. Okay? Now, are you left-handed or right-handed? Left-handed. Left-handed, good. How about you over here? Left-handed. Left-handed? All right. Do I have any other left-handers?
I'm left-handed, right eye.
Okay. And you are? Left-handed. Okay. So if we put a pair of shooting glasses on you and put a little piece of tape on it, you'll know what we're doing there. All right? This is to help train that other eye and get that relationship so that we're shooting where we're looking. One thing that we will be doing in this course is shooting with both eyes open. The relationship of shooting with both eyes open is pointing. The relationship of shooting with one eye closed is aiming. That's rifle or pistol shooting. All right? So those of you who are rifle or pistol shooters, forget everything you've learned during this weekend, and we've reversed it completely. It's like day or night. When you shoot a shotgun, you want to learn to point. As if when you're driving a car, you see the hood of your car, yet you are out in front watching other cars, other traffic signals, things of this nature. That is pointing. You do not look at the hood or focus on the hood, yet you are aware of where the hood is all the time. The same thing will happen in the relationship of shooting a shotgun. You will see the gun, but your attention and your focus is out on the target, so that we are using pointing techniques rather than aiming. The reason we want those both eyes open, number one, if we close one eye, we lose the side vision, and we also lose our depth perception. And we want both of those in determining how far our target is, how much we have to lead it to break it, and these things that go in coordinates with shooting a shotgun. In mounting the gun, you're going to learn to use the least amount of moves as possible. The more moves you make in mounting the gun, the more chance you have of making a mistake. The more mistakes you make, the more tired you get. And as you start to get more tired, then you start to make errors unnecessarily. So we want to cut the moves down to the least amount of moves as possible. So when you're mounting the gun, we are going to start with setting ourselves up with the stance approximately the width of your shoulders. That's how far we'd like to have your feet spread apart. If you spread your feet farther than your shoulders, you can't turn and swing with the bottom portion of your body. If you come up too close, you can't lean forward into the gun. So the stance should be approximately the width of your shoulders. The area that you're going to stand is approximately a 45-degree area to wherever you're going to shoot. Let's say, for example, I'm going to shoot into the middle of that tree there. I would set my stance up approximately a 45-degree angle to that spot. Now that angle is determined by drawing a line across your toes and a line out to where you're going to shoot, creating that 45. You do not shoot straight off your shoulder, and you do not shoot across your chest. It's halfway in between, 45 degrees. As you mount the gun, you're going to mount the gun with the least amount of moves as possible. The gun starts underneath your armpit, and this is your ready position. All right, so as you start to mount the gun, the first thing you do is put your eyes where you want to start the gun. For example, we're going to put our eyes right into the middle of the tree, and 1, raise the barrel so that the eyes, the bead, and the center of the tree are all in a direct line. So your first move is 1. Now you notice that I'm not leaning forward and I'm just using leverage in lifting the gun, conserving energy. So you do not start to push the gun out and start to lift 6 or 7 pounds every time you get ready to shoot it. So it's just leverage. 1. On number 2, your weight comes forward so that your left shoulder is over the front of your left foot and your left knee. In this relationship here, both knees bend so that you're allowed to turn and pivot if you have to turn on a bird or even take a step and move around. All right? So understand that in the proper position, we want the weight of the top part of your body over the front part of that forward leg, which would be the left leg for right-handers, the right leg for left-handers. All right, again, from here, 1, we raise the barrel. 2, we lean in, pull, bang, stay right on it, come straight off, and straight back down. Now, after I said bang, I said stay right on it. Anybody tell me what that's called? Follow through. After you hit a tennis ball, follow through. Golf ball, follow through. A follow through is the period of time after you pull the trigger to the time you take the gun down off your shoulder. So the stance and the fundamentals of mounting the gun are the most important thing that we're going to work with today. You will be shooting targets today that do not have a lot of angles on them or a lot of movement because we want to exaggerate the follow-through, exaggerate the stance and the position that we're going to be in. When you lean forward, you absorb the recoil of the shotgun with your body weight. All right? When you stay on the gun, you now will stay with the gun. If you lift your head, the gun will come up and slap you. It's like riding a horse. You've seen people that know how to ride a horse and they stay with it. The rest of us do this. Okay? So you have 2 things to work with. 1 is staying forward to absorb the recoil of the gun. The other is to stay on the gun with your face, because the face is your rear sight when you put it on the shotgun. You want to start with your weight on that front leg and end up with your weight on that front leg, and there's no exceptions. In the relationship to shifting weight, this is what will happen. As you lean forward, you're into the gun. Let's say, for example, I'm swinging on a bird to the right and climbing, and as I do, I shift my weight back to the right leg. You'll notice that the gun barrel stops the motion to the right, and now it continues on. As that happens, you stop your swing, and you're going to go behind it. And your buddy in the blind next to you say, "Gee, Fred, you shot behind it." Fred didn't shoot behind it. Fred shifted his weight, which stopped the gun. So understand, when you hear this weekend that you shifting weight, that's what we're referring to. The weight must always be on the front leg to start with and on the front leg to end up. Okay, we're going to break up in groups of 5 as we start out. So if you have a partner or a buddy that you are with and you want to shoot with them, just let me know. We're going to break up in just a minute, head out to the range, and start shooting.
Ken demonstrates the proper technique.
What we're working with here is the proper way to mount the gun, leaning into the gun and putting your weight over the front leg. So as you mount the gun comes up, number 1, with the barrel up first. Number 2, the weight coming forward. Pull, stay right on it, follow through, come straight off, and straight back. One more time. Showing the proper way of leaning into the gun and getting the weight forward on the left leg. 1, raise the barrel. No weight is distributed at this time. Number 2, the weight comes forward and the gun comes into your face. Pull, stay right on it, come straight off, and straight back down. We're going to shoot 2 now, coming out of here, the same window, going away from us. What we're looking for here is keeping the weight forward on both shots so that we do not shift back after the first one. 1, we raise the barrel. 2, the body comes forward. Pull. Staying right on it, come straight off and straight back. You must feel yourself straighten back up to know that you've done it right. If you've already straightened back up, you've done it sometime during the shot.
Ken discusses centering your focus.
What we're going to be working with here is understanding how to center our focus on the target. For example, if I said to look at the hat, you would look at the hat seeing everything. If I said center your focus and look at just the P on Pachmayr, now you can still see the rest of the hat, but your attention and your center of focus is directly on the P. This is what we're working with in shooting targets. You want to learn to center your focus on the middle of the target, the center of the target, the head of the target, the wing of the target, whatever you want, but center your focus on something.
Student instruction starts next to the low house. Play this section over and over and correct those errors that you are prone to make.
1, raise your barrel. 2, lean in and see just the target. Call pull.
Pull.
Now. Good and bad. When I said now, you looked at the gun.
Okay.
Okay? Your job is to keep your eye on what?
Target.
The target. When you came back and looked at the gun, that's just like aiming. So you
Okay.
come right back to the gun. All right?
right.
That's like driving your car down the street and you're looking at the hood as you go around the corner.
All right.
1, raise your barrel. Good. 2, call pull.
Pull.
Now. Nice. Much better. Do it again. Nice and smooth. 1, stay relaxed. 2, lean in, call pull.
Pull.
Now. Not bad. Now this hand is real tight, this arm. Okay? When you grip it nice and firm, but not a death grip. They act like shock absorbers. And as you mount it and the gun goes off, the arms act as shock absorbers for the recoil.
Okay.
1, raise your barrel. 2, lean in with your shoulders, call pull.
Pull.
Now. Very good. Straight off, straight down. Now, you don't want to yell pull from down here. Call pull just from up here. Because when you call pull, what happens is, watch my back muscles. Pull! All right, your whole body goes into a constriction.
Okay.
All right, just relax and let it go. Okay. 1, nice and easy. 2, lean in, call pull.
Pull.
Now, much better. Straight off, straight down. Now, where'd you go on that one?
I think left.
Very good, left and under it. All right, 1, raise your barrel. 2, lean in, call pull.
Pull.
Now. Very good, but you looked at what?
I must have looked at the barrel.
All right, you did look at the barrel. Now here's how you get that checklist to tell if you looked at the gun or not. Was the movement to the bird smooth or jerky?
Jerky.
Jerky. The bird never comes out jerky. So if you keep your eyes on the bird, number 1, you're going to be smooth. Whether you hit it or miss it is not important. The checklist starts off with, did I keep my eyes on the target? 1, is your barrel. Not too high, and that should be under your armpit. Nice and relaxed. Good. 2, lean in and go. Pull. Now. Smooth or jerky?
I thought it was smooth.
Smooth. Much better. You said that you've never shot before?
Never shot a shotgun.
Never shot a shotgun? Okay. All right. In relationship to what we're working with, you're going to be working with learning the basic fundamentals.
Okay.
Stick with the basic fundamentals through the whole course. Don't get caught up in how many targets you're hitting or missing in relationship to how well you're doing, because you've been at the bowling alley and seen the little kid set the ball down and shove it with his foot and all 10 pins go down. But that's not the proper way to bowl, okay? All right? Okay. I'll do all the loading, all right? You're going to start with the gun right here. We're going to raise the gun over the white stake, the top of the mountains.
Now, I set this firmly against my face and my
Yeah,
shoulder.
your face goes in and your shoulder and everything. This doesn't have much recoil to it, so as long as you lean forward with your body weight, we're fine, okay? All right, 1, you raise your barrel, stay relaxed. 2, all the way up to here, and your head comes forward.
Right there?
Right there, and turn your head towards me. That's it. I want your eyes straight, level. Okay, that's it. Good, okay? Wrap this all the way over and put your finger on the trigger. Call pull when you're ready, but don't shoot until you hear me say now.
Okay.
Lean a little more, call pull.
Pull.
Now. Okay, good. As soon as I say now, pull the trigger.
Okay.
All right, right now it's just nerves, getting used to
Okay.
everything, all
yeah,
right?
this is a lot different than
Okay,
rifle.
all right. Okay, 1, raise your barrel, stay relaxed. Relax this arm. 2, all the way up, head forward, way up to here, and straight. Good. Call pull.
Pull.
Now. Atta girl, beautiful.
Pull.
Now. Nice. Come straight off and straight down. You have a tendency to raise that elbow a little bit high.
The left elbow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, your elbow should be about parallel to the ground.
Okay.
If you get it too high, you lock yourself in. All right? A rifle stance is this elbow under and this elbow up. That locks the gun in so we have no movement. In shotgun shooting, we want just the opposite. We want this elbow up a little bit and this elbow down.
More
okay?
parallel then?
More parallel to the ground, right. All right? Close it up. 1, good. 2, lean in, easy, call pull.
Pull.
Now, very nice, come straight off. Now, what's happening is as you mount the gun, you're moving your face completely up and away to get it into your shoulder and then bringing the head back down. That's 2 extra moves.
Wasted move.
Wasted moves, all right?
So bring it out more.
As the gun comes forward, your face and your head, everything comes to the gun, and the gun comes up to the face. Okay. The old saying is bring the gun to your face, not your face to the gun, but it's not totally correct. It works like a machine with gears coming together, all right? So as this gun comes in, this head comes down. So it's like this. Another one in. Mount it at the same time. Nope, take it down. You've still got one eye closed. Don't want that one eye to close at all. With a rifle, the procedure is back sight, front sight, target, front sight.
Right.
In a shotgun, it's back sight, which is your eyes, front sight, target, shoot. Okay? All right, put in 2. All right, 1, good. 2, up high, go.
Pull.
Now, nice, very good. All right, 1, 2, head down, call pull.
Pull.
Now. All right, you forgot to put your finger up on the trigger on the first one.
Right.
You had to jump to it, all right? Otherwise it was good, okay. Okay, now, get in the habit of loading with your right hand. Because you see, that's awkward to kick the gun open with your left hand, then reach across your body, and you lose time. In the field, you want to be able to get that gun loaded as soon as you can. If you're in the middle of a covey of quail, you don't want to be sitting there with arms both ways across you.
Crossways.
All right? Call pull.
Pull.
Now. Very nice. Do it again. Come straight. Now, when you finish, come right back underneath that armpit, right back to here. So if you have to load in the field, you haven't changed your shooting position at all. You're going from loading to shooting, back to loading. If you drop it down and the gun goes up in the air and another pheasant gets up, you got to come back and redo it, and that's where guys get all tangled up. Once more. Go.
Pull.
Now. That's what we wanted. Very good. When you put your head down on the gun, your eyes now look into the rim of the glass.
Oh,
all right? Shooting glasses sit very high on your nose so that when you put your head down, you're looking into the center of the glass. And they make a big difference, all right? But we'll work that out as we go with it, okay? 1, raise your barrel. Good. 2, stay up high with it and call pull.
Pull.
Now, very close, but your face is off over there instead of up on here. There's where I want it, right there. That's good. Call pull.
Pull.
Now, there it is. Now, move this hand all the way under. There you go. All right, 2, lean all the way in. Mount it. 2, call pull.
Oh!
Now, very good. Once more.
Low on it. Huh?
No, you're getting good hits. Don't be picky with the shotgun in relationship to how the break is, all right? The only time you get picky is if you get a 1-piece break off of it. If you've got anything more than 3 pieces out there that are broken, it means that the target can be right in the center of the pattern, and that's all you're going to get, all right? Because as you get up to the pattern board, you're going to start to see spaces that you could put a target right in the middle of your pattern and not hit it with any BB.
Next is Dave Parrish at the pattern board.
Okay, we're on the patterning field today for the purpose of firing our shotguns to verify our choke patterns. We're going to be taking some shots, and we're going to be going up and comparing the shot density. Okay, 20 gauge skeet.
Okay.
What we need you to do is go ahead and put one of your shells into your chamber. Keep it pointed in a safe direction. Why don't you just go ahead and put it through the top here. Whenever you're ready. Good. All right, what we're trying to illustrate to all of you is the extreme spread of the pattern. As you can see, with a skeet choke, your pellets are distributed in a wider area. So thus, you are choked for, like I said, this is 25 yards. This would be the type of choke you'd want to use for closer in shooting. Now, what we also want to concentrate on looking at are voids in the pattern. Voids which might allow a target to pass through. You see? Chuck, why don't we go ahead and roll the paper up to the next position. Good. $12. 26-inch. This is also a skeet. Good. Why don't you step up to the ladder? You want to shoot a tighter band? Okay, now, one thing I wanted to point out, this is also a skeet choke that was used in this pattern. But I want you to notice the difference in the amount of pellets within the concentration. Even though it's spread out, in the same type of distribution, I want you to notice there are more pellets. The reason for that is you're shooting a 12 gauge, which carries 1 ounce and 1/8 load, versus the 20, which is carrying a 7/8 ounce. This is shooting a full choke gun barrel versus the skeet chokes that we have been shooting. Notice the distinct concentration, particularly within the center of the target.
That is the end of day one.
On this second day, we have several unique games which help develop the skills of the hunter in the field. One is the driven grouse game where the target comes over the hill. One is the crazy quail where it comes out of the ground climbing up. The other one is a game from Europe called the target pigeon, and several other games that we'll be putting in throughout the day.
The second day starts in the classroom.
We'd like to start off this morning by going over some fine points in the book that was passed out to you. The book, which is called An Insight to Sports, featuring trap shooting by Dr. Wayne Martin. Everybody to open your book to page 1 on the bottom paragraph. Understanding that eyes are not perfect. Seeing is not automatic. Vision is a learned and developed skill. When we look and not see, we lose the visual position or location of centering. We start movement with the gun before completing the visual act of centering, and the computer rejects. So when you start moving the gun before you see the target or before you see the bird, then you start to lose your visual contact with the bird, and you lock onto what? The gun. All right? And almost everybody sometime yesterday during the course was told that you looked at the gun instead of the target. And John, I'd like to have you just sit right there, and I would like you to look right at me and tell me where you had dinner last Monday night.
At home.
Okay, now, just before he answered the question, did you notice where his eyes went? He looked at the ceiling. Okay? Now, you might test this out with your friends and stuff as you go along, and what we're bringing out here is that you cannot think and see at the same time. When you ask somebody a question, they have to turn their eyes away from you or to some other position to be able to think of what the answer is. So when you are shooting and you get yourself all set and ready to go and you're thinking about leaning forward and the head down and everything else, and the target comes out, what happens? Just stops. The last thing that you want to be thinking about is centering your focus in the center of that target and let everything else happen subconsciously. Okay, now the other things that we want to talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about shot size. The larger the number, the smaller the shot. For example, number 8 shot is smaller than number 2 shot. Okay? The larger the number, so if you're up into 9s, then you're shooting a very small BB in relationship to maybe 4s or something of that nature. Okay? Larger shot for more penetration. So when you get into your heavier game animals, such as ducks or geese, have a lot of feathers, you need something to penetrate the feathers. All right? The 6s, 5s, 4s, and 2s are probably the most common. When you get into pheasants and quail, you still have the density problem, but not as much. You normally have a bird now that when it hits the ground will run on you. Okay, so that's why you want to stick with 6s, 7.5s for that particular bird, because you want to put him down, and when he hits the ground, you want him to be dead. All right, if he gets up and continues to run on you, now you're just back into the crippling stage again. All right. Now, when you get into dove or clay targets, 8s and 9s are very popular. Okay, in skeet, 9s are the most common. In trap, 8s are the most common. We also use 7.5s in trap. That's the largest you can use in target shooting. You can't use anything larger than 7.5s. Large shot, less density. Okay, so when you go to the larger shot for more penetration, you lose the density. Now the density is the amount of BBs inside your pattern. The choke is located in the last 4 inches of the barrel, probably the most important part of the whole gun. Nowadays, we are starting to find adjustable chokes in many, many different types of guns that are coming out. I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see it almost exclusively in new guns, because it is the ideal thing to be able to change your choke. That's why a lot of people like over and unders, because you have 2 chokes and you can versatilely use them as you want to. But with the new shells that we have nowadays, the new shells can change almost a complete choke. So if, for example, you're shooting an improved cylinder choke and you put in a shell that has the buffer stuff in it with the cupped wad, you've now changed that improved cylinder choke, which would be here, all the way up to a modified. Most hunters are over-choked, and this is what you're going to find out in this group here, that most of the time the problem is in over-choking rather than not knowing how to hit the target. In the full choke, normally a full choke will shoot about a 70% pattern or more in a 30-inch circle at 40 yards. An improved modified in the range somewhere of 60% plus at 40 yards in a 30-inch circle. Now, notice the improved cylinder in the skeet. The percentage has dropped down, all right, about the same, but what has changed drastically? The yardage, okay? Your improved cylinder in your skeet is patterned at 25 yards rather than the 40 yards. Now, when we are patterning guns or going to get serious about patterning a gun, I pattern most of my guns at about 32 yards rather than this 40 yards. And instead of using a 30-inch size circle, I prefer to use a 40-inch size piece of paper so I know where every BB coming out of that shell is. All right? So that as you're counting BBs, and when you get into patterning, it gets pretty extensive in counting BBs. You should be patterning 5 patterns before you make any judgment. All right? What we did yesterday was just 1 on everybody's gun. When you get into different types of game, then of course the chokes would come in. If you were going to shoot turkey or geese, possibly you would go to a full choke. I would not recommend it, but it is possible. The turkeys, a lot of the guys I've talked to, I mean, you're talking a lot of feathers to knock one of those down. You get into geese and stuff, you're talking the same type of thing. You need the penetration and you want some density, so you try to get as much as you can out of the full choke. Modified is the one that I would recommend that you stick with most of the time. Modified being for ducks and pheasant. When you get into dove and quail, definitely go to your skeet or your improved cylinder. Okay, now this is what you're here to learn. Number one, both eyes open. When we shoot with both eyes open. We are pointing, not aiming. Okay? When you drive a car, you drive with both eyes open and you're pointing. If somebody wants to shoot with one eye closed, we'll watch you drive a car, and if you drive your car with one eye closed, fine. Okay? Granted, there are a lot of people out on the road, though, driving cars that do look like they're aiming, don't they? All right? Number two, focus on the targets. All right? Being smooth. Keeping your eyes on the center of that target is what we're after. Focusing on the center. Number three, your stance about the width of your shoulders. Okay? Number four, stance 45 degrees to where you are shooting. Number five, keep weight forward on front leg with shoulder over front foot. Number six, proper gun mounting. Number seven, now after all of this has been taken care of, now you get to proper gun fit. Because until you know how to mount the gun and how to stand and get your weight forward, proper gun fit is now important. Most people go to the gunsmith as soon as they buy the gun. They stand up with the gunsmith and they say, "Fred, will you fit this gun to me?" And Fred cuts the stock and puts the pad on and hands it back to him and charges him $35 and he walks away. But if you take the same gun and lean forward and mount it, now the gun fit is completely different. So understand that we will not work with you on gun fit until the stance and the fundamentals are where they're supposed to be. Then when we make the gun fit, it's done. Rather than having to come back a week later and say, "All right, it doesn't fit again, let's do it again." Number eight, proper choke and shot size. On the checklist is what you will be using every time you shoot a target today. And here's how it would start. Did I center my focus on the center of the target? Yes or no? If we get a no right here, we don't go any farther on the checklist because we've already what? Established what the problem was. If we get a yes, I centered my focus, the next question is a backup question to this because these two are almost identical. But by asking yourself the second question, you will re-emphasize if you miss this one. Because a lot of times people will say, "Yes, I centered my focus." The next question, was I smooth? No, I was not smooth. Well, the target and the bird always comes out smooth. So if you take your eyes or you take your focus off of that target, you will be jerky. And if you feel yourself jerked to the target, you got a no answer, which goes right back to this one and gives you a double no answer. All right, so that's why we have these two questions, one right behind the other, is to double it up. Did I center my focus? Yes. Was I smooth? Yes. Was my weight forward? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you did it wrong, even if you hit the target. Did I follow through? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you stop right there. You found the mistake. If the answer is yes, you continue on one more. Was I behind it or in front of it? Now you notice I didn't put on here, was I above it or below it? Above it or below it is not where you go to find the answer. It's always behind or in front first. If you are behind it, it does not matter whether you're high or low. You can never hit it. Only if you're out in front does high or low matter. Then you could accidentally hit it. Any questions? All right, we will get our gear together. We'll meet you out at the range.
Now to the second day field instruction, starting with rising targets from the trap house.
I think I'm going to see 2 targets and 2 guns.
What did you do yesterday?
I tried a couple times with both eyes open, and I missed it, so then I closed it again.
All right, go ahead and lean forward now. Give me the same stance, everything, lean forward. Now I want you to close your right eye and line everything up like you would a rifle. So you're lining up the front sight with the back sight, putting it right in the middle of that house up there. Now open both eyes. Now it's important to have you in a mounted position before you put the tape on. Otherwise, you put the tape on. Now take it down. Take it down. Go ahead and take it. If you put the tape on standing up straight and then you lean forward, you're going to look right over the top of the tape. All right? But that's right where we want it, right there. Now go ahead.
Right over the pupil? Is that where you put the
Yes, right over. Well, I like to go over the whole colored part of the eye to cover enough.
Okay.
The actual spot that we need to block out is the size of a pinhead.
I see.
But because we have movement of the head on the stock, you can't make that patch that small. All right, what this does now is this blocks out the power of the right eye, which is your master eye, and converts it over to the left eye without having to close one eye, so we don't lose the depth perception or the side vision, both of which are very important in field shooting. All right, now with both eyes open, we're going to recheck it. 1, raise your barrel so that the gun barrel and your eyes are lined up to that house. Now 2, lean in and mount right to the house. Close your right eye and tell me if you're on the house.
Exactly.
You're exactly there. Perfect. All right?
Yeah,
That's it.
We're
ready to go to work. Your eyes should be about this level. If you put your eyes right off of here, what are you going to see when you start moving? The gun.
I was looking, I want to look higher over the gun.
Yeah, but don't raise your head, just lift your eyes. You want to learn where your separation is. If you keep your eyes too close to the gun, you're going to see the gun all the time. If you keep your eyes too far away from the gun, you'll never see the gun. So it's halfway in between.
Pull.
Now, way under it. You saw the bird both times you shot.
Okay.
If you see the bird when you shoot, on this bird, you're going to miss it every time. You have to black it out. The sight picture that you want on a climbing target or a flushing bird is the gun coming through the bird as you shoot. You're shooting at the bird at the bottom of it, still seeing the target when you pull the trigger, and the bird is still climbing, so you can never hit it. You must shoot as you come through it. That bird is climbing. Bang, bang, rather than bang. You've been shooting down here at the bottom. Climb through it.
Pull.
Now.
Next are targets that simulate driven grouse.
The spot that you should be killing your bird is approximately 70 degrees up. Anywhere from 45 degrees to 70 degrees up. If you get up into 90 degrees straight over your head, you stop your swing and you've shifted weight. Everybody ready? Gun up over the top of the hill, not on your face, just right there. As soon as you see the bird, you mount it and shoot it. Eyes up, here it comes, now. Very nice. Close it up, gun up, and your gun goes right, that's where it's coming from, right there. On it. Good, but you backed up a little bit. Lean forward a little more. Lean into it, Henry, as you see it. Now. Nice shot. You backed up after the follow-through, but the shot was good. Over the top of the hill is where you want your eyes and the gun. Cover it. You shot and stopped. Once more. Gun up. Cover it. Watch your bird. Get ahead of it. Very nice. That's a change. Open your guns. Make sure they're unloaded. Move down one to your right. You're coming to here. Craig here. Jay right there where those rocks are. You're up in the blind there. Get that gun right to the bird as soon as you see it. Now. Good. Just don't shoot my live ones out there. Here we go. Cover it. Don't back up. Beautiful. Stay forward. Gun up higher. Now see that? I want the gun and the eyes in the same ratio. All right? Cover it. Now. Beautiful shot. I need a little more follow through, Richard, and it would be perfect.
Now to targets that simulate flushing quail.
This is the trap that we use in the Crazy Quail event. It has the capabilities of revolving in 360 degrees. I release the target so you can see how it's utilized.
Now, is that realistic or is that realistic?
That's realistic.
We're going to cover your quail right out in front of the puller. Okay, now keep your eye on the bird. 2 shots at it. Be smooth.
Pull!
Okay, now you got real tight. And being real tight is when you lock up and this elbow drops down and this elbow goes too high, it locks that gun up and you can't swing as smooth. Relax, let both arms come nice and comfortable, about parallel to the ground with this one here a little bit below parallel to the ground, and smooth out. Put in 2 more, do it again.
Pull!
Nice, much better.
The target pigeon.
This is the target pigeon, and there's 2 little grooves on the sides of the wing that these grooves clip into. That's what holds the plastic bird onto the metal wing. This part goes onto the machine that has a pivot on it, and it spins and rotates at high RPMs. When you shoot it, to have the bird count as a hit, the yellow must be separated from the orange wing. If you hit the wing or put holes through the yellow and it stays on the wing, it's still considered a lost bird. Just as if you hit the bird and got tail feathers out of him, but it still didn't bring him down to the ground. Oh, a toughie! You can't get away with rifle shooting here, right, John?
Right.
All right? As that bird starts to climb, even though he's going straight away, you have a tendency to want to lock onto the gun and make sure you're going to hit him. All of a sudden, he starts to do this, and it's all over. All right? So understand that this is where the pointing comes in, and what we're working with here, as we back you up in distance, is to get you on that bird and shoot him. It doesn't do you any good to ride him and wait. Even though there are some shotgun shooters that kill a lot of birds by doing that, it's not the proper way to do it. Okay, who's my next man up?
Trapper ready?
Ready?
Pull!
Nice, shoot it twice. Ready?
Pull!
First shot, you hit him. Did you hear it? It's okay, walk off. Very nice.
Shooting from blinds.
What I'd like to demonstrate here is the problem that you run into with a break-open gun in the blind versus a standard semi-automatic or a pump gun in loading. The safety factor gets quite involved. If you load the gun inside the blind and closed it, you could accidentally have a chance if the gun accidentally goes off. Now you have ricochet problems and you're in very close. Many blinds are built quite small, so you don't have much room to move around. So with a break-open gun, normally you have to stand up, load the gun, and then sit back down and keeping the gun up in a safe position. Versus a semi-automatic, for example, where you can sit in the sitting position, not have to raise your gun out of the blind any more than to get the barrel out of the blind to make it safe, and you can load the gun from inside the blind. We're in a duck blind situation with an overhead type shot. One of the common errors that people make is shifting weight and shooting everything directly over their head. I'm going to demonstrate that way so that you can see the improper way to do it. As if we were sitting down in the duck blind, as the bird comes over, people come up and lose their weight and come way back. The proper way is to be able to keep your weight forward and turn and pivot and shoot your second shot as the bird is going away from you. We'll demonstrate the proper way right now. Coming up, shooting, turning, pivoting, and shooting the bird going away. With the proper lean, even a 75-pound youngster can learn how to handle a 12-gauge shotgun properly, as I'm going to have my son Scott demonstrate at this time. Go ahead and load him up, Scott. All right, Dave, what we're working on here is learning to come up out of a duck blind and still keeping the weight forward as you come up. Watch for a bird over the top of the hill. Okay, what happened there is you came up, but you mounted the gun into your shoulder first and then went to find the bird. Let me show you the right way that I want you to do it in relationship to coming up out of the blind and getting the gun coming right up with your eyes as you stand up. Okay, keeping your weight forward and moving the gun up to the bird at the same time. Here comes one. Very nice, much better. Keep that gun under your armpit, eyes on it. Here it comes. Up. Now. Now. Good, but your weight was back on the second shot. Yeah. Put in 2. Now. Now. Good second shot.
End of day 2.
This is the last day, and we're going to add one more event, the walk-up event. This is where a student is walking and the target is thrown at any time. We also make a little more competition today by keeping score of all of the events for all of the students.
The walk-up event.
All right, what we are showing here is the proper way and the improper way of field-type shooting without shifting weight. A tendency in the field is for a person to move towards the bird, and as the bird puts an angle on him, he has a tendency to shift weight, moving the weight from the front leg back to the back leg, causing the gun to stop, consequently causing a miss. This is the correct way, starting in this position, pull, so that you are leaning forward and the weight is coming onto that left leg. This is the improper way of shifting weight. Pull. This is where a lot of shooters end up on that back leg when they finish. From here, you're walking straight in, watch for your bird. Okay, now stay right where you are a minute. You're shooting across your chest here rather than getting that 45-degree angle on the target. What you want to learn to do is, as you are swinging and turning, move this foot right on around, move that foot out, and now you would be shooting, so that you allow yourself to get that second or third shot on the bird without twisting your body up. Here's how I want you to do it, John. Watch my feet as I turn into the shot, and understand that your feet have to set up the rest of your body as you're turning. So you're coming from here on into the shot. Turn, so that you still have that weight on that front leg. In this event, we're walking through the field waiting for birds to flush. So So this is why there's unknown factors to you. My job is to push the button when I feel you're not ready. Your job is to get into position and keep your focus on the center of the target. Put in 2 and let's give it a go. I want 2 shots at the same bird. If you hit it, shoot it a piece. If you miss it, shoot at it again. 1, the gun up, start walking. Very nice.
The scores for this event only out of 15 birds are Pat 14, Bryce 10, Blair 11,
Oh, great.
David 12, John 12.
Good
nice
shooting, John.
guys.
All right, out of our 10-bird crazy quail event, we have Richard 7,
All right.
Rod 6,
Okay.
Jay 7,
Yay!
Craig 8,
All right,
Henry
all right.
8.
Great.
Congratulations.
Good team.
Okay, on a high 10, low 10, out of 20, you 15, Paula 13, Jim 17,
All right.
John 13,
All right.
and Mike 19.
All right.
right.
We'd like to present the trophies at this time. We had a hard time with a couple of the decisions, one of them being on the most improved because we had an awful lot of shooters that were very improved as we went through. The most improved trophy goes to Paula Brooks and Jay Deach. Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You've got a battle scar to prove.
We have in 3rd place Mike Sparkle. Very good. Nice shooting. As runner-up in 2nd high gun was Hugh Brooks. Very good. And our champion was Blair Bryant. All right. Very good. Good shooting. And our high lady went to Paula Brooks.
Let's go real big.
We'd like to thank all of you for coming out and hope you all had a good time. If you have any questions in the future, you have our number. Give us a call through Pachmayr or call me direct. And we hope to see you out hunting and have a good hunting season.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Narrated by Greg Finley. Videotaped by Robin Hirsch and Tom Colucci of Television Matrix Hollywood. Directed by Ken Wilson. Edited by Ken Wilson at Veritel Video, Los Angeles. Special thanks to head instructor Ken Robertson. Thanks to assistant instructors Dave Parrish, Jeannie Robertson, and Jean Robertson. And to the assistant to the assistants, Scott Robertson. Produced by Sportsman on Film. Thanks to Bruce Baker, Rich Giordano, and Chuck Prodan of Pachmayr. And to Ralph Taggart, Huntmaster, Coto de Casa Hunt Lodge. Released by Sportsman on Film. Sportsman on Film is proud to present the following outstanding series of videos produced for the enjoyment of hunters, shooters, fishermen, and outdoorsmen. The Peter Capstick African Hunting Series features Peter Hathaway Capstick, the best-selling hunting author in the world. Capstick enjoys the danger because he feels that the danger creates the enjoyment. These videos will make you want to go on safari. The Grits Gresham Bird Hunting Series Improve your hunting success as America's best-known outdoorsman imparts decades of hunting knowledge while pursuing his passion for shotgunning for game birds. The North American Hunting Series. See the on-camera hunting of the great game animals of North America, including experts such as Jim Zumbo hunting elk, and Wayne Pocus and Thompson Temple hunting white-tailed deer, north and south, with bow and rifle. The U.S. Exotics Hunting Series. Ken Wilson hunts the 10 animals of the Super Slam of Exotics: fallow, axis, sika, stag, aoudad, Corsican, mouflon, catalina, ibex, and blackbuck. These 2 videos feature many of the top guides and best-known ranches in the business. The Rifle Shotgun Shooting Series. Glenn Pierce and Jim Carter show you the tips for improving your rifle shooting skills. Pachmayr's top instructor, Ken Robertson, leads you through Pachmayr's shotgun hunting school, plus shows you the techniques for improving your scores in trap and skeet. The Worldwide Fishing Series. This exciting and informative series not only shows you fishing adventure, but also shows proven methods for improving your fishing skills and enjoyment, even in the off-season. Contact your dealer or Sportsman on Film for a free brochure. For entertainment and education, Sportsman on Film provides the excitement, the action, and the information.